Okay, so we're back here. So in the last video we worked on the hamsters and we got it working. And I forgot to admit this, but that was literally 30 minutes of me just toying around just to figure out that the bug was a simple Boolean check. Anyways, we're back to working on things. I got source tree to finally behave, got everything synced up. I gotta be honest, I gotta find some other software to work on with other than this. But it took restarting my computer to fix this, by the way. So restarting the application didn't work, ensuring that it was killed out of Task Manager didn't work. I had to literally shut everything down, and then even that didn't work. Then I had to restart the computer. Because usually if I shut this stuff down, if I kill off all my Dropbox stuff, if I even kill off all my clients and everything, it works. But restarting the computer for some reason did the trick, and I'm still not quite sure what's up. So for this video, I kind of almost had it planned out, and then I lost my train of thought here when I went outside to get fresh air. Because I mean, the temperature is burning up my house. You turn the heat off for like 5 minutes, and then you might as well be in the middle of an oven. My shirt's already drenched with sweat. So let's see. We're going to still continue working on the Sentry gun because I kind of want to get the Sentry gun completely finished out so my client can get his fully functional Sentry guns. Then I can go work on the rest of the guns for him, the generators, his destructible blocks, armor, and I think that's it he wants. I don't think he wants to... Oh yeah, he wants a forge. I gotta make that. That'll be a later thing because my texture artist just has noped out on me and I need to go find a new one. I hope he does come back. He's probably been one of the better artists I've had, and I'm kind of really grateful for all the work he's done. Anyways, so we got the targeting system here. GUIs, that's what we're going to work on. So we're going to work on GUIs. That's what the plan is. So this will be in the Armory mod, and we're going to mirror the ICBM GUI system. So I'll show you that in a second because I don't think I've showed that off in anything in a while. So right now we've got a basic GUI and a basic container. So what we want to do is create a series of GUIs and a series of containers to handle all of our needs. If we go down to ICBM, the GUIs I want to replicate are the workbenches. The workbenches have a really nice GUI system that is reminiscent of some of the older GUIs we used to make back in the UE days. Although some of our final versions got rid of them because there's such a strong hate towards GUIs near the end of Universal Electricity Team's life. We were moving away from almost from really highly elegant GUIs to nothing. I was sort of against that. I was for it at the same time as I was against it because the idea of getting rid of GUIs is really cool because you want to try to do everything in world. You want to do as much in-world behavior as you possibly can because a GUI is not immersive. It's a really reminiscence of computers. Only computers have GUIs. Only computers have these two-dimensional interfaces. I mean, a whole computer is pretty much just that thing. You don't see this anywhere else in the world. And for those of you like all ATM machines and other things have that, is like ATM machine is a computer. Your cell phone is a computer. All this stuff is a computer, and they all use graphical user interfaces. Actually, they just straight out use user interfaces, period. Because most user interfaces are flat, even the non-computer ones, like you think your Game Boy buttons. It's pretty much flat. God, I use the Game Boy term. That is, I don't think they don't call them Game Boys anymore, do they? What do they actually? I have no clue what they call the newer ones. I've been so out of the console thing that I've kind of lost train of thought. So we want crafting stations, and then we go to Warhead. Warhead has what we're looking for. So how this works is, this uses pretty much a transitioning system. So you have your IDs, whatever ID you are is whatever you're opening up as. It does reopen the GUI every single time. And then we have a GUI per screen. I think right now this results in a whole bunch of empty GUIs. We're gonna go check this. Textures, no, cancel. GUI, yeah, a whole bunch of empty GUIs. Well, actually, no, that one's got stuff on it. The rest of them are empty, though. We're going to probably go copy these because I just need something basic. And for our main screen, we actually are going to do a custom GUI, except, I don't know, maybe we'll start to get into the JSON GUI system right now. Seems like a lot of work, though. The problem with doing the JSON GUI system is we would have to restart every single time we wanted to adjust something. Because I don't have the tools in place yet to check to see what a GUI would look like in real time. So we're going to hit the JSON system up for the GUIs another day because I need to build a editor outside that would run in IntelliJ or run outside of IntelliJ that would then go, okay, here's what your GUI would look like in game. And that way you can move everything around, you get everything looking perfect. Do it all that way. Right now we're just going to do this. Now I'm pretty sure these have, yeah, this has a container system. Okay. This is a pretty simplistic system when you think about it. We just have a whole bunch of buttons on the side. So we're going to copy these, and we're going to bring them over to our GUI Sentry, which laughably has nothing in it. I love when you have these simplistic GUIs like this. You're like, yeah, I don't have to do anything. It's, yeah, you don't have to do anything for a reason. Yeah, we're going to have to... Oh, that's right. ICBM has its own buttons. Huh. How to do this? This is the question when you need to do complicated things. And I need to stop using the word complicated because it's so relative. This is what we want, is this thing here. So we want to copy both of these. We want to go up to our assets, textures, make a new package called GUI. Do that. And yeah, that matches our formatting. And then we just resource location. We're just going to store this at the top of our class right now because of the fact that we don't need this anywhere at the moment. Like nothing else in the army mod needs a GUI. The only thing that will have a GUI later will be the guns, because the guns will have a system for... Actually, the clips will have a GUI too. What a GUI to the clips just to facilitate reloading. Actually, you know what? I might do that here in a bit. I might do the clip GUI. That won't take me too long. So this just needs to do this real quick. The reason why we're setting the textures is these are button textures, icon textures. We need to actually start using these a little bit more in ICBM. Some of the ICBM GUIs we made need to have these texture buttons. Because let me open these GUI buttons again just to show this. Look how nice those look. Those look really nice. They're really clean looking. We don't need the bottom. Actually, we don't need the bottom three. We don't need that one either. We'll keep the rest. Okay, so we need to make some button instances. Why are we even storing the buttons? I just realized this. What do we? Oh yeah, because we disable the buttons. So you come down here and depending on which screen set you have. So we're gonna just copy this because we can just rename them. So like put down here. Oh no, that's in the wrong spot. About to make a new mistake. Okay, so this will be we'll have main window. So main window. Then the second window will be. Oh, that did not work as intended. Okay, so we need our main window is going to be our ammo. It's also going to have our power button on it too. Actually, I think all those screens will have a power button on them. Power and reset button most likely. What else do we need though? We need a settings screen. Settings screen should be last. I need to make a prefab object for this. Because you notice how we're just kind of making these and we're initializing them one after another. I need to make like a row, like a container, and then put these in a container. That way I can just add them and remove them as I need them. So we know we need a settings object. We're going to need a permission screen. And we're going to need a targeting screen. So this is going to be Oh, come on, you stupid piece of technology. Yeah, I'm yelling at my computer. I'm actually more yelling at this thing. This will be permission window, and the last one would be setting window. And we're gonna have to. I hate the refactor thing. You hit sideways on the arrow, and so it won't necessarily do what you want it to do. So this will be setting window button. So we got all our buttons. Then we need to keep some kind of ID system. So we have an ID system. And what we'll do at the end of here, this will be int ID. This.id equals ID. The container is going to need the ID as well. So we'll have to go to the container real quick, put an ID up here. This is actually going to define what's on each screen. So our main GUI is going to get stuff. So we're going to go if ID equals 0, we get the ammo bay and the battery bay, or which are on the main screen. The other screens won't have anything, but we will add the player inventory. No, we're not. We're not going to add the player inventory. This will be main screen only. The other screens don't need player inventories or anything. The only thing I can think of is the upgrade screen. Which means we'll have to add another thing here. Actually, I don't need that. I need the screen. And we'll go down here and we'll be upgrades menu. Upgrade window button. And we're going to put this here. This will be here. This will be ×3, ×4. And this will be upgrade window. And we're going to have to check it. See this number right here at the end? This is the index inside the sheet, or actually the last two numbers are the index inside the sheet. So you see how these are 1, 3, 3, 2, and those correspond to these. So to be 1, actually 0, 0, so crafting, explosive, yeah. We'll have to change these. We'll probably actually keep the upgrade chip there, because that's probably what most of our upgrades are going to look like, is that little crappy chip. Yeah, this all looks good. This all looks good for all of our slots. Then we'll have to get our upgrade menu, and this is the problem, is that not all Sentry guns are going to have upgrades. So we may want to make the upgrade button disappear. And if the upgrade button disappears, then we're going to want to move the settings button up. Complexities we have achieved. We're only going to have one GUI right now, so we're not going to do that. This is the part where you actually need some stuff. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to leave most of it empty. Okay. If we're on the main screen, we disable the main button. So basically, if we land on the screen, we want to make sure we disable the button we're on, so that if you hit the screen button to go back, you don't reload the GUI. That's basically just it's a bug fix, pretty much. It's actually more than that, but it does work, is that pretty much. Then we're going to want to put a couple buttons for other things in here. So like the settings button is going to have certain buttons in it. The targeting system is going to have certain buttons in it. The targeting system is pretty much going to look like our friend or not a friend or foe. It's going to look like our launcher screen. So we'll have a list of types, and you'll have right next to it like checkbox mark. You'll have not checkbox marks. I'm trying to think of like what it would look like. Well, we'll figure out. We'll make some cool render for it later. Permission window is going to be two of one things. You'll have a check marks to use a global. If you check mark the global, then you just put a global ID in there, and then you get access to the global system. If you don't do that, then you have to add each username. And I think I already said I'm not going to do a global thing, so you'll just have a text box for global ID. Yeah, you'll have a box for global group or global permission access system, and then you'll have the group it's part of. So the group it's looking at directly. So there'll be subgroups, I guess. The permission system probably needs to be worked on a bit more before we get this fully fleshed out. Upgrade window doesn't need anything. We just need a power button on the main window. So add button, new GUI button. Actually, what is button to? Default size is not useful. It's a really big button. The point system, I don't know why it's even here. It's probably some weird system. This was made 2 years ago. 2 years ago on this date. Wow. That is some luck right there, that I would open this class on this date to look at it and it would be exactly 2 years. I guess this class gets a happy birthday? I don't know. Applause? Clap, clap? I'm being over enthusiastic. Why does this have an enabled check? Enabled true, enabled false, disabled. Enable. All of our buttons are button 2s? Really? Oh yeah, your GUI image buttons, that's why. Okay, so... I don't know. We're just going to use a normal button here. Just do 0, 0 for the moment. 50, 20... I think I just need a text after that, yeah, string. So this will be enable. Yeah. Nothing special, I guess. Why are you not working? Oh yeah, you need an ID. You're a 5-int system. I'm guessing this is the ID. ID would be... No, ID is the first variable. So ID would be 5. Yeah, we're going to go with 10. The reason I'm going to do it this way is I'm going to make icons for this later. Is we're going to make 20 by 20 buttons and shift this over by 21. And this needs to be a button 2. The reason we're doing button 2 real quick is I can go enabled or set enabled Sentry. Oh, did we not store the Sentry in here? We do store it in the container, I think. Oh no, we don't even store it in the container. Do we store the super? Nah. So we'll do public final tile Sentry. And then we're going to go this dot Sentry equals Sentry. The reason we're doing this real quick is we can call to the container. So down here we can go inventory slots dot Sentry, and we'll have to cast it real quick. That way we don't have to double store the Sentry, just store it once. Tiles, no, this is the container Sentry. Sentry dot get Sentry. We don't want running, we want turned on. And what we want to do is this needs to be an invert, because I believe I is on and O is off. So we want to disable it, and we want to invert them. So every time we hit them, so this will be button 10 and 11. This will be our on and off button, and we'll have to move these. So we'll make a local x equals 0 and y equals 0. And we'll make these static here later. So this will be x, x, and this will be y. A good thing I caught that is that this actually needs to be on the x. Because this will go up in the corner, is where this will go. And then we need to decorate our power slot too to make sure that they're set up, and we also need to add, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the sentries. We'll do this. We do need to edit our tile. So by default, you open up with ID 0. Yeah, irony is I gotta move all this to into one tile node until I get. Actually, I need to maybe work on the node systems to have a client version versus a server version. The only problem with that is that means I need 2 wrapper classes. So, maybe I'll come up with an even more complicated system. I'll figure out something in the future. But we go to the main screen, and we need to come over to the warhead station. I need to go see what it does. We do need to do this. So this will be update screen. So we'll come over to GUI Sentry, put this down here. And if ID is 0, what we want to do is this big Boolean piece of crap. Put it here. Then we want to go. Oh shoot! We need to cache the buttons. So it'll be private GUI button 2 on button, and then private GUI button 2 off button. Ah, I think the AC just kicked on. So nice. I need to get a better thermostat. The one we have it's a Nest, so it actually is a good thermostat, but I think it just needs a reprogram, to be honest. But it doesn't seem to be intelligent. I don't know the best way to describe it. It needs work, that's all I know. I need to work on my whole ventilation system in my house. It's only got one cold air return in the entire building. And I need to redesign it because the people who made, the architect who designed the house clearly designed this to be a cheap house. And it's okay because when my mom bought it, she didn't want to pay a lot of money, and she got what she got. And the house is pretty good. The ventilation system does work. We do get fresh air in every room. However, it highly depends on cold air traveling underneath doors, back into the main room, into the cold air return, back into the ventilation system, and then cycled back through the house. The problem with that is that because you have carpet and stuff, very little air gets underneath the doors and through the door cracks. So if a room door is closed, the ventilation system doesn't work very well. The easy solution to this is to add cold air returns per room, which is actually not too difficult to do. We can implement a duct into the ceiling area of the room or into the wall space. Most likely it'll probably be the ceiling. And that'll go through a hose, that'll go back to the utility room. We'll just have an open hose in the utility room. And then you'll have a cold air return right in the utility room that'll just suck air out of those hoses from every room in the house. And this also fixes the additional issue that our cold air return is right next to our TV, so when that thing kicks on, you can't hear the TV. Subtitles are mandatory at this point. And I would like to get to the point where I don't have to turn on subtitles to watch TV. Not that I watch the 5 channels I have now. I hate my cable company. They cut me down to 5 channels. So if you ever heard of Spectrum, they bought out Time Warner Cable. They're assholes. So we got this set up. So if our turn on status ever changes on our Sentry gun, this will automatically switch our buttons for us. So we don't have to do anything. So if a user hits the button, it'll fix. And we'll come up with a render for this. So how we'll end up rendering these buttons, we'll render with the same icon system we're using up here, and we'll have a really cool button that'll look like it's toggled. So we'll have an on and off state, disabled state, and undisabled state. And we'll do stuff with that. Oh, first I need to get some more fluid drink. Oh, that's good. Okay, so we got that. Let's go back over here and we want to look at more things. So we got some foreground layered renders going on here. And we got a lot of debug down here if all the triggers fail and everything. Here's all our action perform. We are going to need an action perform, so we're going to quickly grab this. And actually we need grab a few more things than that. Apparently button ID 0 is actually something different in here. So this is going to be less than equal because our first button ID is, let's see, yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have only, yeah, so 5. Wow. Okay. Then we want to, we're just going to store the tile here because we're accessing it so often. So we want to do this and just store it real quick. So I'm going to go this.sentry. You know the stupid thing is about this? I actually need to recode this to work off the sentry itself and not the tile, but we'll do that later. Right now it's not that big of an issue to recode it. I'm going to redo this real quick. So this will be tile, send packet to server. That packet ID needs to be something specific. And we got to go to Sentry and see what we're using for packet IDs right now. I don't think we're actually even using packet IDs. So, okay. I think we're good actually. So what we need to do is we need to go to the tile Sentry, see what it's using for packet IDs. I don't think it's got a packet ID system either. So we're actually surprisingly good here. I have an idea. This might work. You'll see my ideal here in like a little bit. So we're going to pass an ID to our container. So we can get whatever ID we want. And we're going to make a packet that is designed to open GUI server side. So we'll do this will be really, really useful because this will play into our JSON system. It's how our JSON system will behave when we actually go to start opening GUIs via JSON. Because your call, well actually your call is almost always going to be server side for GUI opens. But say you had a GUI that needed to open another GUI. Instead of getting complicated and trying to open client-side GUIs, then getting the server to open a container, and then going back and forth, you can just send a packet to the server and go, hey, I want to open a GUI on this tile with this ID, and we're done. So what we're going to do, and I kind of wish you could see my hand movements when I was doing that, because I had some of the most, I'm a little slap happy. Okay, so we're going to go core, network, packet, callback. This will be packet, packet open GUI. Extends packet tile. We need both of these. Where? Okay, here's the packet. Okay, so this needs to be renamed. This needs to be renamed. So this will be X, Y, Z args. Except this is going to be int GUI ID. I'm going to get emails for like the next hour pretty much. Not too big of an issue. It'll be super XYZ. That'll work. Then we need to just do the tile entity version. So public packet open GUI tile entity tile int GUI ID. So this means, by the way, on our open GUI we can actually implement more than just a GUI ID. We can still write description packet data. This is important because this means we can do other things. Not exactly sure how we're going to do those other things though, because that's going to be weird. I'll have to come up with an ingenious idea for that. Actually, this would be super tile and then GUI ID. And what I'm thinking of like a genius idea is because we have, if we go, there's an open GUI call. I need to go to Sentry for this. Okay, so if we go to IGUI tile, we made this a few videos back. So this is actually lets us open a GUI whenever. It's very useful. It lets us know what our current thing is. We can add extra data to it, so we could utilize this for stuff. I'm not going to utilize it right now because I just want to utilize these two calls right here. So this is what this is going to work as. And what we need to do is I need to come up here and I need to steal the handle code right here. This will be handle player, then gets the tile ID of the location. Okay, this is exactly what we want. So I'm going to go, okay, if player.worldObject.isRemote, so we make sure we're on a server at all times. And we're just going to ignore, actually we're going to actually do this way, else if engine.running-as-dev, engine.logger.error, cannot open GUI on client using packet open GUI, and then we want to get I think that's how I do it. My brain just kind of paused there for a second, so I'm like, oh, I didn't think that through. I think I need to do data.slice, then data.readInt. Yeah, I think this needs to be data.slice. Then it's buff.readInt. There is one thing we need to do here. Where tile is instance of iTile. Now we need to do this all in here. Then what I need to do is I need to make an instance called iGUI tile equals null. Then we want to go, okay, if GUI tile does not equal null, this will handle our node system, which our packet system needs to do, and it hasn't been doing properly. So this will be GUI tile equals so it's iTile node host, and then we want to go and tile.get node is instance of iGUI tile. This will be GUI tile equals this whole part plus this part. There we go. Then we need an error, and we also need to get rid of that extra bracket down there. So we need an error if it's not, so we're going to go, okay, tile at location plus new pause, new location, player.worldObject.x.y.z. So this will print out a location so we can actually get some debug. Is not an instance of iTile GUI. And we don't need any additional data there. What we do need here is we need the GUI packet ID. And we're not going to actually do a GUI packet ID there. We're just going to go cannot open GUIs on client using packet ID. So this will just give an error. We won't get any additional information from that. We probably need to get additional information for that. We'll just do tile equals, and the tile should print out its location. If not, further debug can be implemented. And we'll do the same thing here. This will print its location, and then got to open the GUI. How to do this specifically? We're just going to do this. We gotta do this a special way. Okay. So we know it's a GUI tile, so we're gonna have the code GUI tile dot open GUI. So we gotta do the open GUI thing. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I gotta do it anyways. So player dot current or open container, and then we're gonna pass in GUID as the parameter. And yeah, and what we're gonna do a Boolean check here real quick. So we're gonna make sure we open the GUI, and then we're gonna throw an error if we didn't. Failed to open GUI with ID. What we have recording time? 36 minutes? Feels like it's much longer when I'm recording these sometimes. Okay, so that'll work. Now we just got to implement the handling. I kind of feel like I want to implement an ID system here. Yeah, we'll implement an ID system here real quick. I don't want to do this extra data because that feels clumsy. Sent requested ID. And what we'll do is we'll flow this into just the base OpenGUI as a legacy system. And that'll handle that. And then what we're going to do is do this. Actually, you know what? We can do this real quick. But there's no, I don't think there's a call here. Yeah, we're not going to do it that way. The reason I'm not going to do it that way is there's a potential chance that it just doesn't handle properly. So what we wanted to do, where's our OpenGUI call? We want to pass the GUI ID here. Then we want to get rid of the extra data. Why didn't the extra data check work? Is there an ambiguity problem? Why? There's an ambiguity problem. Why is there an ambiguity? Ambiguous method call. Okay. We'll do that. That'll work, I guess, because we can't do this because it's got an ambiguous method return set. Okay. And that should do the trick, and all we have to do is then come over to our tile here, implement the method call. Of course, we need to shave the back off because we removed this after I copied it. And what we want to do is we want to open GUI player, armory.instance, requested ID, xi, y, yi, ci. Actually, I don't think we need the rest of that. And then we just return true. Actually, we also want to do if requested ID is greater than or equals 0 and requested ID is less than 5. I think it's because all we have is 5 values. Return false. That way it actually does function properly. We don't get any weird call arounds. Okay, I don't need the rest of that. So this will work. I just need to register it. So we got to go to the packet channel handler and add our now 13th packet. I got to come up with a system to fix this. So this will be packet open GUI. This looks good. Oh, that's the backup render. I'm looking at this like, what is that? That's a backup render. Okay, so now what we want to do is we got the whole packet system sorted out, which took me longer than expected. We need to send an open GUI packet. So this would be new packet open GUI. Then we just need the tile and then the packet ID. So it'll be button ID pretty much is what we're going to be using. And we're going to do to do if change max buttons update tile Sentry open GUI handle. Okay, that's a note. Actually, just do it that way. So that when we click the buttons, we'll switch to UIs, and that should work. We'll have these. We need to move these around. We should be able to just go ahead and open up the screens. Before we do that, I need to go get the foreground. I closed these. I need to open up. Why did Arcalex fail? What? This has a method built in for that. Oh, that is hilarious. Oh, that is hilarious. Is this actually an instance of IGUI tile? It is. That's funny. I haven't touched that mod. I don't know how long, and that thing has a method there. That shows that I've thought about that scenario already once upon a time, but I never implemented it into the interface call list. There's been multiple times where I've gone, here's a good solution for this, but then I was like, let's hold off on implementing and see how things progress, see if we can do an alternative. Now I'm more along the lines of, here's a solution, let's go ahead and implement it, as I'm just trying to get things out the door and working. I can come back later and remove as much code as I want. I can scrap as much parts as I want because we're in complete overhaul mode. Think of the Iron Man 2 movie, and I think you're kind of getting where I'm at right now, where he just goes into full, there's a word for it. I forget. Anyways, I'm no longer cleaning my glasses there because that's the reason I was doing that pause and talking, is my glasses somehow got smudged. Okay, we open this. We're going to need a handle for packet ID 11 and 12, so else if button ID equals 10, actually it's 10 and 11. So button ID. And this will need a packet handler of its own. So we're going to need to send a packet ID here. We will do an ID for this. So this will be a packet tile. And then what we're going to do is we'll call it packet 3, and then that is our on button, so this will be true. And this will be false. That's how we do our enable, disable and enable system. Yeah, so this should be our turn on, turned off. Okay. And we'll handle that. So this will be in the, not the Sentry class. Yeah, we won't do the Sentry class. We'll do, you know, we're going to recode these GUIs just for the Entity version of this, because the Entity version is going to have a little different handling than the. Actually, no, we'll come back through. We will work this when we hit that point. We're not at that point. We're not going to hit that point anytime soon. What? You're new? I didn't know that was there. What is that actually? You're a structure class? There's some usage for that. I'll have to go look it up later. By the way, there's a really cool thing I figured out. I can hit this up here to get to the project thing. I still never do it because I'm so accustomed to hitting file, project, structure, but there's a button up here for it. Okay. Yeah, so packet handling on the Sentry tile. So content, Sentry, tile, tile Sentry. This should already, I guess it doesn't have packet handling directly implemented, even though it is a packet ID receiver. The packet code is more than likely in the up thing. So we'll go, I think it's handle packet. No, it's read packet. Oh, it's just called read. So right here, we copy this method. So what I'm going to do is we want to go, okay, if the super is not handled, so I'm going to go super.read buff ID player and type, because we want to make sure that the super gets its opportunity for a packet unless we're doing something stupid. What I mean by something stupid is we're overriding a packet, and we shouldn't be overriding packets. If you need to have a different packet, you need to send a different packet system. So we're going to have an isServer and an isClient. So isServer is how we're going to do this, and then we'll have our else statement. And what was our button ID? So this would be ID equals 3. Then we would go get Sentry dot turned on equals buff dot read boolean. Pretty easy. We just have to return true as well. So return true that we read the packet. We don't think we have any other packet IDs right now, so we don't really have anything else to work about. We'll have a permission system, so we'll have a packet for that. Yeah, so go else if so we'll do this as different thing. I'm going to mark these real quick. So this would be turn Sentry on, turn Sentry off, save permission ID. That's what this will be. What else we got? So we got a targeting system. This is going to have a whole cluster of its own buttons. So what we actually need to be doing here is we need to go else if ID equals 0. So we can recycle button IDs if we do it this way. Then we go else if ID equals, our permission system is ID2. So that way we can do this. And this lets us recycle our buttons. So that way we're not doing this huge list of buttons. We're going, oh, does this GUI have buttons? Does that GUI have buttons? Are we conflicting with these buttons or that buttons? One thing you're never going to conflict because they're different GUIs altogether. On top of that, simpler to think about when you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of buttons. So all you have to do is make sure you're above the bare minimum of button IDs, which I'm going to make a static variable for this. Public static final int max GUI tabs equals 5. That way we can come all the way down here, put this here so we don't have to worry about that, and put this here so we don't have to worry about that. And then we would go, this will be tile Sentry.max GUI. This will be tab buttons, or tab switch buttons. Alright, so we're recycling our buttons. All we gotta do is make sure our button IDs are not over top of this. So what we can actually end up doing is doing like these be certain things. But I want to leave this 10 and 11 because it's easier just to gap, make a nice space gap here. So we don't have to worry about anything. And this will be button 10, so it'll be our save button. So we're actually good. I'll go ahead and just add a button there. We'll get it positioned, but we're not going to do anything with it right now. So this will be save is what this will be. And we'll put this at 0, 0 until we position it. And I don't need to do anything with this. And this will be 50 long. And we're going to do a save button on the settings tab in case we have any settings we need to enable. And we'll have a save button on here. So we won't synchronize settings on any of the tabs until we hit the save button. And this actually will be an icon. Do we have an icon? No, I don't think. Let me open this up. This is not that button sheet. I'm going to go dive into the ICBM mod real quick, and I'm going to go find the save button. That should be launchers, GUI, GUI silo, arrows, encode, save button. That way we'll use the save button everywhere. This will be button 10. And we're going to put it 0, 0 for the moment. And we'll put this on all the screens. Actually, we don't need to cache this right now. The only reason we cached it on these is because there's a disable setting. We could actually disable it until we know there's changes waiting to be sent up. I'm not going to do that though because it's a lot of work for not a lot of reward. But we'll set these up. We'll move those around. Upgrade window doesn't need any saves because it's just that's a configuration window. I don't think we're going to do sub settings for upgrades at the moment. We might do that, but then I'll make sure those show up on the settings tab, and you'll see each upgrade and you'll be able to scroll through them or something. I'm going to forget that though. I don't really feel like writing that down right now. I think we're good though. So we're going to go ahead and hit run and debug, and then I'm going to go ahead and check to see if I need to synchronize anything while we wait for that to launch. I don't think I changed anything, did I? Ah, you froze. I hate this software. It was written in Java. I have a feeling like this is. That's Minecraft. Oh, here it is. Source tree. Beep. Reopen. Yeah, Minecraft's taking up literally all my CPU. It's only really taking up one core though, because Minecraft's not very threaded. Yeah, we do have unsynced changes. That's what I was looking for, and it wasn't loading up. I mean, it makes sense for Armory. We are editing the Armory, but we edited something inside of Voltage apparently. Oh yeah, we added a packet. You'd be surprised how much that's going to actually save me time-wise having that open GUI packet. I'm surprised I didn't decide to make one earlier. We apparently made it to change the API. Oh, yeah, we did. we made a change to Artilex, which I haven't touched in I don't know how long. I do want to kind of get back into working on Artilex again. Apparently we have to change the military base decor. That was the API, right? Close. Pull down. Oh, I just updated VE version. That means Steam just went through and probably checked all the versions. Artilex is not even in here? Unless my brain is just fat fingering past it. It's not in here. Nope, wrong. Oh, go away, Edge. Yeah. It's literally the only reason it's on my tabs. I use it to check compatibility on websites. Surprised it's in my workspace still. I must keep it in my workspace because I have that ideal that I'm just one of these days I'm going to come back and work on it. This tells you how long it's been. I haven't synchronized any changes. So we're just going to go sync in all caps because, yeah. By the way, if you ever look at Reika's code, he does that. I did actually convince him finally. It took me months to do this. He'll put numbers behind him now, his commits. It'll be basically, it's update like 200 or something. I've really been trying to convince him to actually label his commit messages. I haven't checked if he ever finally got around to it. I hope he does. He doesn't seem to comprehend that commit messages are important. It's not some superficial thing. When you read a commit message, you understand what that developer just did, and you can better interact with the developer. Although Reika refuses to accept any kind of help, whether that be theoretical, physical, whatever. Okay, what were we checking again? GUIs. Yay! Our buttons are up there. We're not changing tabs. That means our packet's not working. Something tried to set null into packet 10, slot 10. Okay. I got ammo in here. Okay, so that button's actually disabled even though it's not rendering disabled. Our disable status works. Not that I think it's respected. These need to come down over here. I need to actually make it smaller too. I need to move. Those are in a decent spot. So our GUI buttons aren't working. So it is calling it. So then we need to go to here and we need to see what's up with this. Okay. And open GUI called. Okay, so what we need to check is this right here. And then we need to check what's going on with this. So this would be... that's what's going on with this. So this is methods all fucked up. This is armory.instance requested ID. And then it's a world pretty much, and then, yeah, so world, X, Y, Y, Z. By the way, you can open up the GUIs cross dimension. It's not advisable, but you can. If you do it cross dimension, client side, you got to do special handling for it. Because server side, it'll open properly. Won't do that client side. Client will go, the fuck are you trying to do? I lost my debug, there it is. I feel like Trump when you're like, you misplaced an entire mother. How in the world did you do that? Well, there was this nice piece of cake. It was this most beautiful cake you've ever seen. If you guys don't get it, I'm legitimately making fun of Trump right now. For those who accuse me of being an anti-Trump person, I don't support either party. and I will make fun of both parties. And I don't care if he's the president or not. So we got our buttons. If you can see, we got buttons up here. They're not being positioned properly. They always stay up in the corner. Wow, I could do stuff with that. Where's NEI at? Because I know we have NEI installed, don't we? Did I accidentally disable it? Oh, we don't have NEI running. Why do you think of that? Okay. That's not too big of an issue. Okay, so we know the packet works. We're good with that. Our disable enable works, which is really cool. That means we can now turn the sentries on and off, which is really, really nice. We then need to get the permission system loaded up to prevent people from walking in and just turning your sentry off. Save buttons. Save button, save button, save button. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get position data. So GUI left, then GUI top. Okay, cool, that puts it in the corner up there. Now we need to get him over there. So width of the GUI is about 128, if I remember correctly. So this would be x equals 100, or x plus equals 100. Close. This needs to be like 140. We're not doing like any proper science here today. We're just screwing around and clicking buttons. This doesn't look good, but I'm going to leave them here. I am going to adjust the Y by 5, but I'm going to make a custom render for this. I think I already have one laying around somewhere, so we won't have to do much work. But these are going to be smaller than the slots, so it's a good position where they're at, so I don't have to move them around. But Y plus equals 5. And we're going to populate this down here. Down here, and down here. That way we can start working on our save button locations. So that's save button. Save button needs to come over by another 23. So we'll do that on the 4th GUI, which is the last one. That's too much. Come back a little bit. The cool thing is with having tab buttons, you can do this. Perfect. That's exactly where we want all this. So all the save buttons will be in the pretty much the same spot. Really nice looking location there. And if we resize the GUI, that should stick in the same spot, so we're good. Now we just got to put stuff here to save. So, and we got to get our icons all set up. So this isn't a crafting icon. This will be an ammo icon. We're probably going to grab that icon from the ammo box and put here. This is, so what is our second GUI? Kill the slimes. Silence is beautiful. Yeah, I just committed genocide on slimes. Yeah. Okay. Back to working on this, because this is what we need to deal with. Open matching file and associated program. It's cool that you can. This is one thing I give IntelliJ credit for, is I can double click any file and I can get to open up an external program. I give them that. They made sure that I could at least do that, even if the rest of their system doesn't always work. Oh, that is so cool. I don't have to worry about editing the background when I'm editing these. Okay, so engine. We're going to leave a lot of these alone. What we're going to do is we're just going to delete a lot of them. So delete. We'll leave guidance alone. We'll reuse it. Warhead we're going to delete. Triggers we're going to delete. We'll leave screwdrivers alone. We'll leave the hammer alone. We'll leave the auto crafting tab alone, I guess. There's a hammer for that? There's a crafting grid. We're going to get rid of this. Oh, ooh, looks bad. We wanted to get rid of that background though. Explosive tab, we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to get rid of this one right here. So the base one we're going to edit right now is the crafting grid. And this needs to be renamed, and this is going to be ammo. Bay. Okay, so we got this. We just need to copy stuff in real quick. Armory. I get a little bit something in my throat. So resources, assets, textures, items. We've got a few things to actually play around with here. I could actually grab the ammo shell collector for the upgrade slots, and it would work just the same. I might go grab a texture from something here in a bit. Oh, that's so cool. That is exactly the size I need to be. Control A, Control X, ammo bay, Control V. Oh no, you're just a little bit too big. How do I resize you? So I think I want these to be 28. I'll have to edit this real quick because it's not going to be perfect. But that'll work. What we'll do is we'll zoom in real quick and we'll edit it. By the way, did I mention I actually figured out how to set the eraser to hard edge? I know one of the videos somebody commented is like, hey, you could just turn hard edge on. And I was like, yeah, I actually have known that for a while. I just have been really bad about using it. Okay, so that does our ammo box there. Let's change the saturation on this real quick. So color, no, we don't want to colorize. Color, brightness, contrast, and make it just a little darker. So when you hover over it, the whole GUI changes colors, not just that one part. That'll work. Let's get rid of this right here. Oh, yeah, that's right. You have to. Why can't I delete layer? You're an empty layer. Delete. There we go. Okay, so we got an ammo bay now, and we're gonna zoom back out to 800. Okay, so we're gonna use a screwdriver as our settings because that's our traditional setting. So that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's GUI 5. So if we come back to here, setting needs to be 5. That's a 0. Okay, we need a targeting window, permission, and upgrade. Our upgrade window is going to be whatever the chip is. So that's 5, that's 6, that's 7. So 7 is the chip. We're going to leave it by that. We're going to come back through and make it look nicer later. Permissions, we need something. We'll close that because we don't have anything that would work in there. Yeah, I'm just going to kill off the auto crafting window. So we get rid of that. Get rid of that. I didn't want to delete the. I want to delete the whole layer, not just the contents of the layer. We're gonna hold on the hammer. I'm gonna rename this. So we're just gonna call this E4, I guess. E1, E2, E3, E4. It means that's actually E5. And basically what I'm doing is those are empty slots. This will be E6. Okay, so what do we want to do with the next thing? So we need a targeting, so this will be the targeting tab. Zombie's face would be the perfect thing. Minecraft, textures. There's a texture for heads. Oh, come on. Okay, so I'm going to need to scale you up to 30 by 30 scale. Well, you know what? Okay, 30, 30 scale. Okay. I think these buttons are basically 33 by 32. Oh, why do you just always like to not work? Just randomly, it's like you're trying to scale it and it's like, no, and it did it again. It's like I don't care to scale properly. I don't understand what's up with this. Yeah, I gotta go like the old school way and just scale it through paint real quick because this is not wanting to behave. So actually, we just do Control C. There we go. And then what we want to do is bring you in. There we go. See, that's the right size. I don't know what's up with GIMP today. So yeah, that'll be perfect size for that. So we would just need to get rid of the collar. Then we just need to copy it. And then we need to go back to targeting tab, bring it into the center here. Targeting tab, bring it over here. Okay, then get rid of this layer. And then colorize, or desaturate actually. Or brighten this or whatever. Slight difference in the color. It just looks a little better. File save. So now we got our target tab. So it's going to look like a monster. Pretty easy to words. I'm done. Okay, so I need to find whatever's the next tab down. It's actually this. Okay. So targeting tab is going to be tab 1. So we need to come back to here. Cool, it's already tab 1. This is set to, okay, so we're going to do permissions tab next, so that'll be tab 2, and we already got it. So the permission tab is the only thing we got to do now, and what, I'm guessing a silhouette of a person would be perfect for this. So this would be permissions tab. I feel like I've already done this once before. Probably have. Oh well. Not too hard to draw. Apparently whatever I just hit is a color selection. Not bad. So let's meaty him up a bit more. I like the skinnier version. Looks a little bit better. Just need to reposition it so it's centered. Close enough. Okay. And then we just need to just make this a different color real quick. Real easy just to do that. Oh, really? But Space, select, permission. Needs to be darker. That'll work. This will be temporary. I'll come back through here and I'll player face maybe. Yeah, you know what? We're actually going to redo this whole tab thing because the silhouette thing it works for really crappy GUIs. We need a player head. Oh come on! I know the thing's in here. There's a creeper skull. Actually, it's probably called skull. Mojang in their naming schemes. Haha, Steve Skull. So I'm going to do edit, resize, 32. Thank you, Vast. File, save as, desktop. Because the Steve Skull is a really good way to indicate that you're talking about a person here, not a zombie. So it'll be a really good indicator of what I want to do with it. Okay, I need to re-add the pupils back. I think I can do, oh, do this the hard way. Luckily Steve's head's square. This would be obnoxious. I've edited drawings before, so I used to upload a lot of drawings into using scanners and stuff, and you would be surprised how often I would have problems simply because things would not load in perfect, and this is where I don't like the JPEG format. It's actually exactly where that comes from. PNGs don't have problems. JPEGs have compression issues that when you're uploading images, you get a lot of pixelation. So what was once white is now multiple different colors. Although the paper probably was multiple different colors to start with, but the point's there. And we just need to colorize this real quick. Yeah, that'll work. So hit File, Save. And let me go answer that message real quick. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. So we got that tab, and I think it was the last tab we needed, right? So, yeah, we got 5 tabs, and that is now tab 2. So 0, 1, 2, and we're good. Now we just need to hit export as, button picture, and then hit replace. And that overrides the old ICBM texture, so we don't have a lot of them left in here. The only one we got left is the settings tab, which I'll replace later. So when we reload our GUIs, we'll get the new buttons. Although right now they're going to be the old buttons until I open, so they're still the same ones. And then we got to see if I got a GUI for that. So that'll be in VoltsEngine, and it's highly likely I might actually have something for it already. If it's not in here, I might know what mod it might be in. So assets, textures, GUI. Do we have an IO button? We do not. We got something close right there. We got this right here, which might work. I think this is meant to be a status bar though, right here is that little green red button thing. Okay, so I might know what mod it's in though, is Basic Industries might have an on-off button. It might be where I made it last. If it's not in there, I don't know where it's at. I know I've made one. It could have been for a client's commission, and I'm just remembering things really poorly. Yeah, that is really crappy though. On/off switch. Man, that's bad. Really bad. I like the circuit though. That looks nice though. No, actually, I'm going to really quickly open this up. I'm going to copy the circuit out of there because that looks so much nicer than what we have. And then, so that'll be circuit basic. And then I want to go Control A, Control C. And then what we want to do is we want to go back to the Armory mod and we want to paste that in. Wrong thing, right there. So then we want to go, which one of these tabs is it? We renamed it by mistake. It's floating selection point. Okay, so really quickly, and I think that worked. So if I toggle this on off, yeah, that's good. File save, file export as, replace, export, there we go, and close. Discard changes. Why everybody picks on me this time? I think this happened last time I was recording at this hour. Okay, so we need another button system here. We're gonna need to make a button for it. So it's gonna take me a few seconds to do. Not that important to do, get this up. So yeah, he's asking a really basic question here. How do you replace it? Should be yeah, it should be a standard recipe. Am I hearing the garage door open? Oh, whatever. Ignore it. Okay, so yeah, it should be a standard recipe. So I'll go really quickly check this for him. It's a good pause so I can mentally think of how I'm going to handle the next step. So we go in here. He's asking about antimatter. That's a shaped ore recipe. I'll get him a thing real quick. So the recipe removal system in VoltsEngine is actually not too hard to use. I still need to make a tutorial on this. Recipe, test recipe replacement. Okay, so I'm gonna give him the code real quick. Oh, wrong thing. Brain failed. Why is VoltsEngine not a pinned? Oh, VoltsEngine is not a pinned mod because I'm in the wrong thing altogether. Derp. Okay, hopefully that answers his question. It is really easy to remove recipes. You just gotta find the recipe and just remove it. Okay, back to what we were doing. So I need to make a GUI thing, and this is going to use the increment buttons, which are part of the core. I think it's all we need, though, is to pretty much just use the increment buttons. We could make these smaller, but I think the smallest these can get is 20 by 20 before they start rendering funky. We're going to close that tab, and we're going to dive into the core. Okay. MC prefabs, I'm going to say GUI components more likely. There's a components tab, so GUI components. I have a feeling that's not used. GUI C button. Oh, that's a component. Yeah, that's me working on the component system, which is not very good. Okay, so here's our increment buttons. What we want to do is we just want to make a new button called on off. So GUI on off button, and then we just want to rename this to on. And we're going to have to get the location of this, but this should work. Hold on, where's Discord at? Hold on, I gotta help him. Unfortunately. I don't know why he's trying to remove recipes. It's word dictionary supported. Okay, so this is what we want. We want an on-off. We're gonna have to add an on-off toggle to our existing GUI, so we'll have to go get into VoltEngine's package, do some more GUI editing. Source, main, resources, asset, VoltEngine, textures, GUI, and we wanted to edit the GUI components. I already started on a GUI bar component thing, which I gotta get everything ported over and moved to and handled. And holy shit, my brother's mowing the lawn. I just realized where the garage door opened. I can hear the lawnmower outside. If I sound surprised at that, honestly, I've been waiting for him to mow the lawn for like a week, and I finally had to bribe him and pay him with real cash to mow it. Okay, we need to make a new tab. So new layer, on, off, button. Okay, now we need to make sure we select it, because you saw me select this and I hit copy. But what happened is... Wait, it says we already have an icon status on and off. Where is that at? Oh, no, I want to see where this is. Ah, yeah, literally right there. Okay, so the thing we're looking for might be part of the base texture sheet. How we can tell is if we can paste that. Nope. So what is this part of? I'm just gonna have to start doing this until we find it. It's actually probably called increment buttons. It's called plus. So there we go. So we're on the plus tab. We want to then go in on and off. Drag this up. Zoom in so we can get a nice view of what we're doing. Okay, then we're gonna have to just do some GUI editing. So if we do that, we can toggle that on and off now. So we got a nice little layer to work with. And how we want to handle this is we want to make it appear as if they're the same button pretty much. So we're gonna do that really quick, and we want to do some kind of icon here. But what we want to do is, so this button needs to be next to here. So just imagine these are adjacent to each other. So that means we want to remove the edge border here, or get rid of as much of it as possible. So you just got to imagine these are connected now. But it's going to be really hard to see on here until I actually get it done and we get it implemented in game. Just heard my brother run over something. And you guys can probably hear that. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't get too obnoxious. I apologize in advance for that and why it's running. Okay, so you gotta imagine these buttons will be connected to each other. We're gonna need some kind of divisor between them. That divisor is gonna need to be... Oh, I hit the... I'm used to the OK button being down there. GUI is being weird. Trying to be different than what they standardly are. You know what I'm going to do real quick? I want to shrink the canvas to the selection. Layer. Can I just crop the selection? No. Layer to image size. Layer to bound size. Cool. See what that did? We now have that yellow border around there. That means we can't draw outside that. So look, Harlow's going to intentionally drive in front of my window repeatedly just to mess with it, because he knows I record a lot. And he attempts to antagonize me every so often. Okay, so now we need just another color, because we need to make it look like it's a toggle button if you've ever seen one. I doubt you have because they kind of went away a while ago. They're kind of one of those once upon a time toggle buttons used to exist, and now they just flat out don't. Hit save real quick, and where's Discord at? Apparently once the custom recipe handling is required to support that. Okay. What do we got? Some gray going on here. I think I must have messed up somewhere here. Gray, go. Black edge restored. Hit file, hit save. And now we just need to do our icons. So it doesn't matter which is which. We just have to pick one is one thing and one's the other. And we have to then do colors for them. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean the canvas up. So select this and then what I want to do is I want to grab that same white color and then we want to draw just a big eye right down the middle. Okay, I'm going to really quickly Google this because I want to see what these look like in real life again because I got an image in my head, but so we want I/O button. Images. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. It's that kind of style of toggle. Might make it glow too. I don't want to do the whole red thing because that just seems weird. Well, we're going to do the standard. Huh, we could do that. I like that kind of look right there. The green and the red. It's really user friendly. We completely defeat my the art style we're kind of working with right now. But that's right, we don't have a background. We're working on top of that kind of stuff. So I want to make this a little slender before we go ahead and just copy it over to the other side. Why? What happened there? Looks good. So we need to kind of give some kind of indication of which one's pressed down and which one's not. So we're going to have to make one side darker than the other. So we'll make this side dark. So well, we'll just go ahead and select this entire thing real quick. Color, brightness, contrast. Okay. And we just got to make an O. I'm just going to use a character for this. See if I can get a nice O. Or it's just not going to do squat. Why is this just being weird right now? Thicken it out a little bit. I can hear my brother cursing at the lawnmower. I think it might be the grass might be a little too wet outside to be mowing right now, yet he's giving it a good go. So I give him an applause. But grass might be too wet. Yeah, that'll work. So just gotta copy this, and I'll have to do a little bit of texture work right here. Should just involve paint bucket. File save real quick, and we gotta think if we want to do this color scheme here. So if we do the color scheme, then might want to re-add the edge back. So we want green. Ah, that's a nasty looking green. Also, I'll have to redarken the side. Whatever. I'll have to redarken the side. Oh well. I need a red. Yeah, we're just gonna have to sit here and refix the GUIs a bit. Oh, painful work, etc. Okay, so what we want to do is we need a slightly darker version of this to then do the border here. Yeah, we messed that whole thing up, didn't we? We'll keep the black edge here. I'll have to pencil this. We need to re-add the edge back to here, so we'll have to get this here. Let's just do one texture side, and I can just copy and mirror everything over. I don't know why I didn't think about that beforehand. Okay, so need a slightly brighter but paler version. Do this, and then slightly darker version to do the corner. Then I gotta re-add the side here. Re-pencil that back in. And I need to do the corner, which I think I can just grab this color. Here we go. Those look good. I think I need to recenter this thing. How many pixels are we from each side? Okay, 6, 5. Okay, so looking at this, these are usually white, so let's actually change these to a white color. I think I can get a pure white this way. Ah, that just looks bad. If let's do it this way, we're just gonna restart from scratch on that. And we'll move them much more slender. That looks much better. Not by a huge amount, but it does look good. It gets the point across to what we're trying to make. And then I can just do this real quick. Copy it over to this side. And then what I just need to do is color, brightness, and take the brightness down. That'll give you your indication that you're hover. So this, what we're working on is hover state, and then we're going to need to do some toggle state with this. So we're going to need to do a bit of work here. I need to make this white. Ah, man, that just looks bad. That's what we're trying to copy is that, but it just looks bad. So bad. Looks like I'm making a banner for OSU, which, I mean, there's a football team that's nearby, but yeah. And if you're asking why I'm continuing to roll with it, it's because I'm hoping somewhere in my head that we end up with something that looks half decent by the time we're done. That's better. There we go. That looks okay. We're getting there. Still looks like Sesame Street colors. So that is cool. You can hold the spacebar to do that? I didn't know that. I'll have to remember that. I feel like a little kid when learning type of stuff like that. Okay, so file save, and then what we want to do is just darken this side here. So color, brightness, and then we just want to drop the brightness down. So we get our hover state. And I guess we need to do our disable state too. So I need to expand the canvas size. So layer, scale layer, and we need to add another 18 pixels to this, which would be 4. Ah, this is not what I want to do. Scale layer. Oh, I don't want to scale the whole layer. I want to... No. So we just have to do this. Layered image size. If not working, take easy option. Okay, what we want to do with this is we want to desaturate it. So we want to hit color and color balance. That's not what I want. Hue and saturation. There we go. Those are disabled states. Then we want to invert the collars here. So if when you're hovering, we want to make this the collars turn black. That'll improve understanding that you're hovering. It'll also help colorblind individuals. So if you're colorblind and you, which I don't think color blindness would matter at all. The only issue you'd have is red and green blind, which would be a problem, which is why we use the IO symbol. Yeah. this will work. Now we just have to go to our programmed GUI here and so there's another field in here that's actually just straight out enabled. We're just gonna do this way. So I'm gonna go supports, disabled state, and okay, so that should be width times 2 is how we're gonna handle that at the moment, and that'll be the easiest methodology behind it. If we need anything more complicated, we'll have to think of something more complicated. Or have to code a more complex set of code. But this should work. I mean, wow, we're at 2 hours. I need to stop doing these 2-hour long videos. That's our system. And we just have to come in here and we just gotta go new GUI on off button. And we just need to go, okay, this is our on button. And we're gonna grab this and we're just gonna copy it down real quick. So button ID 11, this will be false. So yeah, I think it's how it's handled on off. And what we need to do is we need to check to see what our renders are going to be. So this is going to be our X and our Y, and in here we're above it. So all we need to do is increase our Y value by the height, which just means this is going to be 89, I think. And then I think we did that right. So we just need to restart, and hopefully we'll get this done. I'll end it as soon as we can see those icons working, and then we'll add the functionality in the next video. It's a lot of work to get these mods going. You can pretty much tell that by the number of videos I make. I mean, 2 hours this video, 2 hours another video. One of these days I'm just going to make an 8-hour video and just upload it. I'm not going to do that though. That I need my 15-minute OSHA required breaks. I used that joke with my brother and he started laughing. He's like, yeah, we didn't get those. I actually have never been at a job that's actually circumvented the brake system. Most of the jobs I've actually surprisingly been at are... Actually, I take it back. The call center job I had circumvented the brake system using a really stupid idle that if you were on call with a customer, you couldn't get off the call with the customer, and I got stuck on a 4-hour call one day. Yeah. 4 hours. I don't even remember that call either. I just remember there was 4 hours, and I remember being exhausted after that call. I think it was some guy that kept driving around to each one of his rental apartments, and he was getting me to help him with everything at the rental apartments. Call center work sucks, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that enough. Okay. Now we can test this. A lot more work to do. I gotta get the settings up, I gotta get permissions up. I want to kind of get the permission system done today, because that knocks out majority of the code. Oh, there we go. We got our icons. We messed up our positioning math. This needs to be +9. What did we screw up here? There are different button IDs. They're rendering separately from each other, but the second one moved. The first one, you know what? I forgot to export. Give me a second. File, export as, and then I messed up the positioning math. So X, Y, no, that's right. Maybe I didn't get it high enough. Maybe this needs to be 180. We're gonna have a restart again. Hear my brother tracking stuff around as he's trying to really desperately to mow everything. I think he probably could use my help out there, but I'll have to wait till I'm done with this. Although by the time I'm probably done with this, he'll be done. It sounds like he's almost there. It sounds like what he's doing is mowing where the furniture is out there, which is inside of a little gated area. So I guess he's opened the gate up and got in there. I actually need to get 2 more fence pieces for that, because it's one of those Lowe's detachable fence things. You can attach them to each other. You put spikes in the ground, and then you run rods through each of the gate pieces. They're real easy to move, real easy to work with, which is the reason I bought them. They're not too expensive. I think it was like only about $20–30 a gate. And I know my mom wants to put a really nice fenced area back here, but don't have the money for it right now. We'd love to get the money. It's going to be a few $1,000s probably though. Actually, it's probably going to be under $1,000, because if I go out and buy the lumber myself, and I cut the lumber into size and I put it up myself, I only have to pay for material. Because I can do the labor. I actually have training in carpentry and other things, because I was lucky enough when I went to high school that they still had shop class and still had carpentry class. So I actually know how to do all that stuff. Although I don't have any of the machines though, so I'll have to go borrow some. I think I gave my circular saw back to my dad because I think he wanted it back. No, actually, I should still have a circular saw. I don't have a saw thing. The one thing you pull the handle down and it saws through. There's a name for that. Jigsaw? No. I don't remember the name for it anymore. I used to remember the name of like all those appliances. I mean, I got a handsaw around here somewhere, so I could just do it with a handsaw. That'd be good exercise every day. But I think it'd be like $30–40 a post, a couple dollars a board. Okay, our system's working. Oh my god, look how nice that is. That looks really, really good. Really easy to understand what that does. Oh, so nice. Oh man, that's good. So we're going to end the video here, and apologies for the noise and background noise and static and everything else.